What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. Making a turn on this week, DK Show up and rolling right now on your radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Also available online, sportstalk1051.com. Stream it up over there. You got your Google, Alexa home devices, the app, and the video stream up and rolling on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Happy December 6th. Appreciate you making us part of your start this morning. If you're already up and at it, and yeah, buddy. What a good night last night for some hoops, for some Wisconsin hoops. Badgers with another big win. This Badger basketball team continuing to hum right now. 6 wins in a row, taking down Michigan State in Michigan, 70-57. AJ Storr, 22 points. Stephen Kroll, 18 points, including going perfect from deep, 4 for 4 from the three-point line. Mr. Blackwell, the freshman, coming off the bench and getting 10 points on there too. But Badgers with another big win. So they have taken 2. They are 2 for 2 during this tough 3-game stretch. Man, you got to be feeling pretty good. If you're a Badger basketball fan, or if you're a Badger fan right now, how are you not feeling pretty good about your team? You know what? Bo Ryan might have known what he was talking about back in October when he was at a practice and said this team's going to be really good, really good. And so far, early returns are showing that maybe Bo knows. Maybe Bo knows here a little bit. A lot of season left to be played, no doubt about it. We'll get into the fully Big Ten schedule a little bit later on, and we got Arizona coming up this Saturday, which is going to be a huge game again. But the Badgers have taken 2 games so far, the first 2 in this tough 3-game stretch that we have been talking about for how many months, how many days right now, and they went wire to wire last night too. They went wire to wire. Another impressive win for this team. Another impressive win for this team. And then last night too, the Bucks, staying with the hoops, picked up their win against the Knicks, dropping $146, 146 points against the Knicks. Knicks last night though, Julius Randle couldn't miss for the longest freaking time. Ended up finishing with 41. But nonetheless, the Bucks, led by Giannis and his 35 points, Damian Lillard and his 28. Bucks moving on to the in-season tournament semifinals, where they will face the Pacers tomorrow in Vegas. And put this on your calendar, put this on your schedules, because it's going to be an early start, 4 p.m. In case you didn't hear it or see it. But the game is going to start at 4 p.m. tomorrow in Vegas, going up against the Pacers, where if the Bucks win, they will advance to the championship and face either the Lakers, who squeaked out a victory last night against the Suns, 106-103, or the New Orleans Pelicans. So good night for some hoops action last night. But, I think there's got to be a how do you feel about this Badger hoops team right now? I mean, is it another typical season where, because preseason rankings had them finishing 5th in the Big Ten, and right now they look to be one of the better ones. Obviously, Purdue's going to be up there, and still going to be up there quite a bit. Don't overlook Michigan State. I feel like that's going to be a team that's they tend to make their pushes at the end of the seasons, getting into the postseason and such. But for this Badger team, and you're getting the youngsters kind of stepping it up. AJ Storr, Blackwell, Stephen Kroll looks like he's, made a jump this year too. But man, what a good night for some hoops action for the good old state of Wisconsin last night. So, but now Saturday, that big game against Arizona. Can you imagine if the Badgers go to Arizona and pick up that win against the number 1 team in the country, and within a week they would have defeated the number 1 team and a number 3 team in the country right now? Yeah, skyrocket up those rankings at that point in time. But we'll hit up some hoops talk throughout this morning with those two wins from last night over there. So we got that. We'll talk a little baseball with the week going on at Nashville with the winter meeting. So the MLB did their draft lottery last night. Kind of a different thing here, but did a draft lottery. The Guardians ended up winning the draft lottery. Brewers fell into the 17th spot. Do you like what the MLB is doing with this draft lottery? Do you like that they're incorporating this? So like the A's, for instance, got the fourth spot. Guardians 1, Reds 2, Rockies 3, Athletics 4, White Sox 5. To round out the top rest of the 10, it was the Royals, it was the Cardinals, it was the Angels, the Pirates, and the Nationals. So, what do you think? What do you think about this lottery? This was held at the winter meetings for the second straight season. First time that Cleveland has selected at the top of the draft. Kind of like how they do it a little bit differently. Yay? Nay? But the Guardians had the 9th highest chance of winning the number one pick at 2%. The Reds only had a 0.9% chance of winning, which made them the largest jump for where they would have picked in the draft. Based on the odds, it would have been 13th. So, but we're going to talk a little Brewers over there too. Matt Arnold talking a little bit yesterday. Obviously, the Jackson Cheerio news and the Wade Miley news. But Matt Arnold says that the crew plans to compete in 24. Says they're planning to have Corbin Burns and Wade Miley, or excuse me, Willie Adames on the roster. They will have Wade Miley, but Willie Adames with the team this upcoming season. And you know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, with the Jackson Cheerio signing, is this kind of a sign that maybe the Brewers are going to go a little bit of a different route to maybe go through a little quick retool, rebuild? But Matt Arnold going with the opposite approach. He says, quote, "No, I see it the other way. I think this is an investment in our franchise from our ownership group to do more. I think it aligns with what we want to do, which is to compete in 2024. Adding somebody like Jackson Cheerio potentially to our opening day roster, and then signing somebody like Wade Miley, who's 37 years old. I think it's a commitment from Mark Anastasio and his family to make the Brewers really viable in Wisconsin for a long time." You buying that? You agree with that? Asked about Corbin Burns. He said, "I would he still kept the same position from what he did a couple months ago, saying, I still think that's our position with him being a Brewer this year. Certainly, we're getting a lot of traction on Burns, and this week is a popular week to have those conversations, but we're still certainly thrilled to have him with Willie Adames. Very similar. We love what he brings to our team, and again, thrilled to have him." The wild card might be Aaron Ashby. I think, you know, I was one of them who just assumed, you know, he's going to be in the conversation for a starting role this year in that rotation, and still could very well be. But it sounds like it's still a little bit unknown with his recovery from shoulder surgery. Arnold's saying he feels really good. He's coming back, throwing, playing catch, working out. I think he's on track to be part of our rotation hopefully next year. That's the expectation. This guy is working his tail off to try to come back, and he's definitely on the right track. But when asked, does that mean he expects Ashby to be game ready from the start of the next year or just sometime next year, he said it's hard to say. You want to be cautious with these types of things. When he's ready, he's certainly going to be in our mix for sure. So, but we'll keep you posted if anything happens with the Ohtani. That's the big one out there. Everybody's just kind of waiting for that domino to fall. Where's he going to go? Back to the Angels, Dodgers, Blue Jays now a team in the running. Is it the Cubs? Is it not? You have some people saying the Cubs kind of out of it. Now they're back in it, back and forth over there. Everybody's just kind of waiting for that thing to finish up, then everything else behind it, kind of, well, like the Cody Bellingers and such, and maybe even like a Josh Hader contract. But Brewers will probably be looking for a new backup catcher because Victor Caratini is going to the Astros on a 2-year deal worth $12 million. So we'll talk a little baseball with winter meetings continuing or going on in Nashville. Will it start to heat up here a little bit more? It's kind of been fairly quiet, but it seems like there's a lot of talk, just not a lot of movement at this point. So, but we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. We'll throw a little football talk in here too. The Packers bringing in another running back, another veteran running back, Kenyon Drake, the former Dolphin, former Cardinal, spent a hot minute with the Colts this year. But the Packers are releasing again James Robinson from their practice squad. He got a snap in the game against the Chiefs. But the Packers bringing in Kenyon Drake, adding him to their practice squad. Another veteran running back over there. Does that mean anything about Aaron Jones and such? I don't know. I mean, you're swapping out a veteran running back for another veteran running back. But Kenyon Drake told Josiah Anderson yesterday that, quote, "I could feel the energy around the building. It was legendary, and you can feel the legacy and the bright future they have. I'm excited to get to work to help them take that next step towards the ultimate goal." But so they did that. Again, I don't know. I don't expect a whole lot. I know it's a name, right? It's a name. It was like James Robinson was a name, but didn't really see a whole lot from him. And I don't think this is a sign about Aaron Jones's recovery or, will he be back maybe a little bit later than initially thought. I think it's a move to bring in another veteran running back to kind of cover their bases a little bit. As long as A.J. Dillon's out, as long as Aaron Jones is out, it's still going to be A.J. Dillon and it's still going to be Patrick Taylor at this point. So that's kind of where I feel. It's a name running back. It's a veteran running back from back in the day, but I don't expect a whole lot there. Packers also made it official about bringing in their new corner, David Long Jr. Long started in that Super Bowl win for the Rams against the Bengals. So he's got some experience. He's got some starting experience. He's got some postseason experience. Spent some time with Joe Barry when Joe Barry was over there as well with the Rams. So does it mean maybe a little bit about Jair Alexander's potential return? I mean, if I had to pick between the Kenyon Drake signing and maybe claiming David Long, I would think the corner one maybe indicates a little bit more about Jair Alexander potential return, even though he's been practicing. And again, it could just be a straight up depth thing, and it's a familiarity. It was, hey, this guy's available. He's got experience with our defensive coordinator. He's got starting experience in the Super Bowl and such. It honestly just could be something as simple as that, because we know that depth at that cornerback position has been tested a lot these last few weeks. It straight up just could be a depth move over there, and probably doesn't even indicate the Jair Alexander injury or anything like that. So, but we'll get a little bit of a better updates today when the Packers return to practice. If Jair's still able to do some stuff, maybe even get to a full participant status, that would be nice. Then that would really indicate whether if he's ready to go anytime soon. And then, of course, Aaron Jones, will he be able to return to practice? But I think a lot of us, too, are just kind of, and the Packers fans out there holding their breath about Christian Watson if he's able to return anytime soon, or how long he's going to be out at this point. So, but hey, let's get things going here this morning. All right, let's do a little bit of a smorgasbord here. I want to talk a lot of hoops with the Badger basketball team picking up a big win, another big win for this team going into Michigan State and picking up that W. I mean, they were humming from beginning to end, wire to wire, picking up a 13-point win over Michigan State. This team's actually hitting free throws too in the last couple of games, which last year and some other times it was kind of a struggle, but this team is hitting some free throws, getting contributions from their youngsters. Stephen Kroll looks like he's taken a nice leap this year. How pumped are you right now for this Badger basketball team? Bucks 1 win away from advancing to the in-season championship game. All that good stuff. Let's start to do it. We'll take our first break, and then coming up on the leadoff, we'll get things going here. Let's talk a little hoops. Let's talk a little baseball. Let's talk a little football. A little bit of everything here this morning. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Looking for that perfect gift or stocking stuffer for someone special in your life? Well, it sounds like you need to make a stop at Cabin Coffee in Altoona. Whether you're looking for a gift card to put in someone's stocking or grabbing a bag of their freshly roasted coffee, Cabin Coffee has something for that coffee-loving person in your life. Plus, they also have some sweet mugs and apparel over there, too. Along with the holidays, the temperatures are also dropping, so head on over to Cabin Coffee and grab yourself a warm beverage this season. Cabin Coffee in Altoona, located in the River Perry area at 2922 Meadowlark Lane in Altoona. All right, got a couple of you jacked up about the Badger win last night, 70-57 over Michigan State. As James mentioned on our video feed, when Guard was chewing out the players and the media, I thought it was going to be a long season. Turns out it might have been the kick in the pants they needed. Go Bucky, especially for a guy like Stephen Crawl, right? You know, he was one of those that was kind of, shall we say, mentioned by Greg Gard and in the media, maybe called out a little bit over there. And you look at his last couple games here, you know, these games against Marquette and Michigan State. Marquette, he dropped 16 points. And then last night, 18 points, stepping up big in big time games here. And now being pretty darn consistent from three when he's 4 for 4 last night. In fact, what's his? I got where is his 3-point percentage? And it's only just a couple games because, well, I mean, he's got a couple of instances here where he was 100% from three, but so far the big man from three this year, 77.8%. Yeah. But no, the guy is shooting 60.6% from the field, 7.7 rebounds per game, averaging 12.2 points per game so far. But as we've kind of mentioned too throughout the season, it's been a couple of youngsters really stepping up and kind of leading this ball club. AJ Storer, 22 points last night. He's up to 14.2 per game. John Blackwell coming off the bench, giving the ball club 10 points in 20 minutes. He's up to 9.1 for the season on average. This is the freshman going over there. So you're getting contributions from, you know, AJ Storer, who's a transfer, was a freshman last year. Now he's a transfer kid. You got John Blackwell as a freshman this year. Getting contributions from those two. Stephen Krull, if we can get the consistency from him like we've been seeing in these last couple of games from him, you're getting a nice little mixture. Chucky Hepburn, he'd probably it's not to be a downer or anything like that, but for Chucky, it's kind of like where's the consistency here again? You know, he started off the season on a bang, but then you look at the last couple of games here, 9 points against Marquette, just 5 last night against Michigan State. Go back to that Virginia game, just scored 3. So, but hey, the only statistic that matters at this point for this Badger basketball team is they picked up another W during this tough stretch. Can they do it again Saturday against Arizona? Can they go to Arizona and upset the number 1 team in the country? You know, I think I've got to continue picking against these teams because again, I picked against Wisconsin last night, and boy, did they embarrass me like they've already kind of done a couple times. I had Marquette winning, I had Michigan State winning. Tell you right now, I'm probably going to have Arizona winning at this point. But man, you can't argue with what we've seen with Wisconsin so far this year, surpassing expectations, which it's not totally out of the norm for Wisconsin, right? Not completely out of the norm to surpass some expectations, preseason expectations. But I think even this is surprising some people, and they're going to have a huge test with this Arizona team because Arizona's averaging 93.4 points per game, and they're shooting 50% from the field. They're aggressive on the glass. Arizona, 47 rebounds per game they're averaging. To put it in comparison, Wisconsin, 34. They're averaging nearly 13 more rebounds per game. Arizona, 21 assists per game, spreading the ball around, compared to Wisconsin, who's at 11. Arizona's averaging 4.4 blocks per game. Okay? I mean, this is an incredibly talented Arizona team, and it is going to be a huge test for Wisconsin to go on the road and pick up that victory. They're not going to be favored. There's going to be I'd be surprised by anybody other than our good buddy G-Man who's going to pick anybody but Arizona in this game. But the way they're playing right now, gaining that confidence, I guess don't completely throw it out of the realm here. But to take two so far, the first two in this 3-game stretch, that's a big-time win for Wisconsin so far. That is a big-time win. After Arizona, I don't want to say eases up a little bit, but Jacksonville State and then Chicago State before a little bit of a break with the holidays, and then they begin their Big Ten portion of the schedule on January 2nd, where they take on Iowa. So, but right now, is Wisconsin the second best team in the Big Ten, third best team in the Big Ten? You know, they're in the running. You got Illinois. That's up there too. Illinois picked up a win against Florida Atlantic. Illinois coming in at number 20. Florida Atlantic was ranked number 11. So Illinois with a signature win over there. I think it's fair to say that Wisconsin's a top 3 team right now in the Big Ten. I'd put them as a top 3 team right now. Purdue being the best. And I mean, look at them. Look at the results. I'd throw Illinois in there too. They're close to Wisconsin. But yeah, I'd put Illinois or Wisconsin as a top 3 team. Ohio State's probably, just behind them. I think you got to throw Northwestern maybe in the conversation with their big time win against Purdue. But I think the Big Ten, it's going to be an interesting race. Purdue will probably win it, but it might be a pretty darn good, interesting race to see who's going to finish in like second, third. I think we're going to have, when it's all said and done, when we get to that point where we're looking at the conference tournament and the seedings in that conference tournament, I think it's going to be quite the race for 2, 3, 4, those seeds. I mean, I'll slot Purdue already at number 1, and I know it's putting a lot of faith into Purdue, but Purdue always screws me over when it gets to the NCAA tournament. They win a lot of stuff in the regular season and such. But I think when it gets to that time, when it gets to conference tournament time, Big Ten conference tournament time, and the seedings, and we know how important those seedings are to get those buys in that, I think it's going to be a heck of a race to the finish for those top seeds there. When you throw in Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio State, don't overlook Michigan State either. I think they're going to bounce back nicely. Maybe even Iowa, Northwestern, those teams over there. So Saturday is going to be a big day. If you got nothing going on Saturday, maybe want to watch a little hoops with this Badger basketball team going up against Arizona, number 1 in the country. That's going to be at 2:15 on Saturday. 2:15 on Saturday. Bucks, meanwhile, also picked up a win last night, although it looked like for a while there Julius Randle wasn't going to miss a darn shot. He was perfect heading into overtime. But it was like the Bucks kind of turned it on an extra gear in that second half. If you like scoring when it comes to your basketball, you probably really enjoyed watching that game last night, because was it 75, 72 at the half, and then 146 to 122 overall. But the Bucks came out in that third quarter, outscoring New York 37 to 24. Maybe kind of took away their energy a little bit, and then closing it out in the fourth quarter there. But the Bucks coming out in that third quarter and just kind of putting the hammer down, led by Giannis with his 35 points, 10 assists, nearly a triple-double, was just 2 rebounds away. But the Greek Freak distributing the ball. Damian, also 7 assists. with his 28 points. Malik Beasley, 6 of 10 from 3. The Bucks were shooting at one point a ridiculous 70% from 3 last night. A ridiculous 70%. They ended up finishing 60.5% from 3. For anybody who doesn't know how good that is, that's like, what, 20 points, 20 percentage points above good? Like, if you're a 42, 43% free throw shooter, you're probably one of the better ones in the league. But for a team to go 60.5% from 3, that's that you're in the zone. All right. A lot of basketball players talk about being in the zone. That's being in the zone and really being in the zone, and you're probably even burning the zone. That's how good they were shooting from 3 last night. And it was, at one point, no team in NBA history, because you're talking about maybe a little bit of history last night, but at one point they were flirting with that, because no team in NBA history has made more than 20 3-pointers in a game while also shooting 65% or more from deep. So they were close. They had their 23, but they ended up finishing 60.5% from 3. That was better by 0.1 percentage point, but it was better than what they shot from the field overall. From the field overall, 60.4. 60.4. The one downer, though, is probably their numbers from the free throw line, although they didn't go the line that much. I mean, they were just 13 of 19, which is 68%, and their misses came from Giannis. I mean, 5 of their 6 misses came from Giannis at the line, which, to be expected. Damian went to the line 8 times and made 7, and then, Portis a couple times, but they didn't go the line that much. It was the Knicks that went to the line a lot. They made 33 trips to the charity stripe and hit 29 of 33 over there. But to put this in a little more perspective too, the Knicks last night shot 30.4% from 3. The Bucks doubled that. Are they going to do this night in and night out? No, they won't. But boy, were they on fire last night. And remember, this is a Bucks team too that's not playing with Pat Connaughton coming off the bench, still not playing with Jay Crowder coming off the bench. So it puts a little bit more pressure, I would say, on those starting 5 of Giannis, Middleton, Lopez, Damian, Malik Beasley, to be contributors, consistent contributors. Puts a little bit more pressure on Bobby Portis coming off that bench, campaign, maybe even Marjon Beauchamp. But dropping a $146 last night, your Milwaukee Bucks, and now they are into the semis of the in-season tournament, where they will face the Indiana Pacers tomorrow. Again, 4 p.m. tip time. It's not 6, 7, or a late game. It's 4 p.m. So I know might still be stuck at work here a little bit, but that's why we'll have the game on your radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM over there. So, all right. Tell you what, let's take a quick break. Before that, James, I'm buying into this tournament with the Bucks. I could tell they care about it. Makes me want to care about it. That's a great point. All the talk about from fans, are you into the in-season tournament? Are you buying the in-season tournament? Do you care about the in-season tournament? We kind of mentioned the same thing a couple of weeks ago. If the players buy into it, and if the teams buy into it, fans are going to buy into it. And right now, yeah, I would agree with you. I think the Bucks are buying into it. They're into this thing. They want to go now that they're in Vegas. Like Adrian Griffin said after the game, it's a business trip. Right? It's a business trip. So they're buying into it. I love it. Keep it going. Let's win a couple championships this year. We'll take our break. We'll be back and finishing up this first hour after these quick words. What's something that's practical, yet something that's really awesome and something you really, really want for Christmas this year? I noticed that new floor in your home. So instead of adding something you don't need on your Christmas list this year, just ask Santa for that one thing you really want and the one thing that you really need. That's a brand new floor from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. From top of the line carpets to gorgeous luxury vinyl planks, whatever style of flooring you're looking for, Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire has just that. And let me tell you a little secret here, all right? My sources have told me that the big guy himself, Santa, uses Carpet City Flooring Center for his own floors. The workshop, his home, you name it. Carpet City Flooring Center, pretty darn popular up in the North Pole. So head on over to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire, take a look around at all the options and styles they have, and let their team help you select the best floor that you want to add on your Christmas wish list this year. Hey, they'll even set you up with an install date and everything. Make your Christmas a little bit more magical this year with a new floor from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Just visited them yesterday. Shout out, got some sweet swag, wearing a hat right now over there. So big thanks to Carpet City Flooring Center over there. Good people, awesome people over there. Got to chat with Ben over there. Ben, big hockey fan, big hockey guy over there too. So it was awesome. Good to see them again too. All right. Hey, I just saw this show up on a random Facebook feed, and I think this might be something. We might have to do something like this. But instead of it's one of those weird sports Facebook pages that sometimes pops up like for advertisements or promotions or whatever. Instead of an ugly Christmas sweater party this holiday season, have a random sports jersey party. I'm all about that. How do we do this with Christmas coming up in just a couple weeks? We might have to do something like this. We might have to do something like this. I don't know how. I don't know what way, but we might have to. G-Man, I know you'd be all about that. I mean, dude, you got over 100 jerseys to pick one. But let me throw this out as maybe kind of a fun question of the day. Name your most random sports jersey you have either sitting in your closet, in the back corner, maybe stored away in a rubber tote on a shelf in your attic, your basement, your garage, that you're like, I would dig that thing out. Your most random, obscure, why the heck do you have that player's jersey? G-Man, if you're listening to, like, I'd love to know, like, who's your most random player? I mean, you've got players, you've got some good ones, but like, who's like maybe the one like I can't believe I have this one? All right, maybe do we incorporate this a little bit with our Festivus? Maybe because Brandon and I usually do a Festivus episode, and we're gonna have to do it this year on the 22nd, that Friday. Maybe we incorporate this with a little Festivus action. Maybe. All right. So let's have a little fun with this. All right. Give me your most random sports jersey that you have. Maybe you still wear it. Maybe you don't. But it's like, I can't believe I have that one. Or because I don't know if anybody else is like this. Like whenever I go to Lambeau for a game, whenever I go to a Packer game, one of the things I always look at from other fans in the stadium is like, okay, who's wearing what jersey? Like, who is probably the rarest one, or maybe like, wow, that guy's actually got that jersey. For some reason, like I feel like one of the most popular ones I see that's like so random is John Jurkovic, 64. Sometimes jerseys over there. I feel like there's always a couple John Jurkovic jerseys roaming around Lambeau Field during the game. I know I've said it many times, but my buddy Jake's got his Travis Jervey jersey that he'll always wear. But like that's one thing I don't know why, and maybe it's just because you're like almost guaranteed to see the most random player jersey there. So I'll throw it out to you. Let's have a little fun with this. I'll tell you mine right now is probably Ryan Leaf. And I thought I was kind of in the minority on that, but it turns out Brandon Berg's got one, And Justice Cleveland has one too. I remember buying mine the year after he was drafted. It was at Cedar Creek Mall in Wausau. It was on clearance. It was like $15. I'm like, okay, $15. You're a kid. You're younger, middle school. Was that middle school? Maybe even like high school or something like that. But it's like, jerseys when you're a kid, they're expensive, right? Find one on clearance, like, boom. My first jersey I ever got as a kid, like official jersey, not player one, but my first one was Robert Brooks. And it was because it was on sale. I still remember I was in elementary school, and I still have that jersey. But it was on clearance at Shields. I remember they had a rack of them. I'm like, sign me up, baby. I love me a little Robert Brooks over there too. Fun fact, I also bought, because that was also the phase of like you got to wear a turtleneck under those jerseys. Bought a Packers turtleneck from Shopko. I still wear that turtleneck deer hunting. That's one of my traditions when it comes to deer hunting rifle season, putting on that Packers turtleneck. No idea why it still fits me, but it still does. Got it from Shopko. Good times, good memories. So I have a little fun. Hit me up with some texts on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. I'm going to post it up in our Facebook group over there too. If you haven't joined our group, go ahead and do so. If you need the link to join it, text me and I'll send you the link over there. We're having some fun conversations over there, no doubt about it. So, all right, coming up next hour, we'll get to some football talk. We'll get to some baseball talk. The latest going on with winter meetings in Nashville. They had the lottery draft last night. Latest going on with the Brewers. We'll hit that up. Also, we'll go to the Ohtani. What's the latest rumors surrounding him? We'll get back to some hoops talk there with the Bucks and the Badgers. Big wins last night for both those teams. Arizona coming up next for Wisconsin. Can we get like Sam Decker or something like that to show up to that game? I know it's not an Elite Eight matchup where Wisconsin's kind of owned Arizona. Shout out to the early 2000s there, early 2000 teens. But maybe can we get Decker and Frank Kaminsky and that such to make an appearance over there? I don't know, have a little fun with it. But we'll get back to some hoop stock. We've got stock reports, whose stock is rising and whose stock is falling. Let us know. Hit us up with those texts. We'll finish up the second hour with Morgan, though. Good morning, Morgs.
Hey, 84, Sterling Sharp. That's my jersey.
Do you still have it?
Somewhere. Yeah.
You got to find it.
I know. That was my go-to. I used to wear that every game, up and down, all the time, no matter what. Loud and proud.
I like this idea of, instead of having a ugly Christmas sweater party, random sports jersey.
I love it. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
I might
Ugly
do it for
sweaters
our
are a little, everybody does it, but I like the random jersey because everybody's got something shoved somewhere in their closet somewhere. Yep. And mine was always the 84. That was my go-to.
Yep. So I might, that's a good idea.
Who do you know that has the most obscure one? Probably G-Man somewhere.
Well, G-Man said he's got a Craig Newsome number 21.
Okay.
But I know somebody else who had that. A buddy of mine, John, who was actually my college roommate too. But in 6th grade, he was such a huge Craig Newsome fan.
Yeah.
And I still remember he was freaking out because he got it for Christmas.
Okay.
And he brought the picture at school in 6th grade one day.
That's a big deal in 6th grade,
where he's wearing his Craig Newsome jersey and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My buddy Jake, I've told the story many times, but I'll tell it again. Travis Jervy.
Oh yeah.
But he bought it off the back of somebody at Sheenan's when we were in college.
Hey, that's an even better story. You got to keep it for provenance at that point. That's like the Antique Roadshow. It gives it extra cred.
Credit to the person wearing it to Sheenan's.
Right.
On a Friday or Saturday night. And then my buddy Jake buying it off of him there.
Probably needs a shot of penicillin to go along with it if he's wearing it off Sheenan's. So what would be your dream obscure jersey? If you were going to set up a party, a random sports jersey party, what would be your dream jersey? I'm talking like no worries about price tag, none of that jazz. Just like your dream jersey that you could roll in wearing. Would you go Jordan? Would you go football? Like where would you put it?
See, obscure, it'd have to be like a very random player.
So you're gonna go random player, not just not just
Jordan,
swag, not just like an original Jordan jersey or something.
That's tough. Brian Williams, Packers.
Okay, what era and what number?
Super Bowl 31 era, number 51.
Okay,
he was my first Packers autograph I got as a kid.
See, that's meaningful.
because, and I still have that autograph, but that was when they would go to small towns and play basketball
Oh yeah.
against like the police departments
Yeah.
and that. And that's how I got that first
Okay.
autograph.
That's a pretty solid pick then. And you're gonna make Jake wear his Derby jersey because
Whenever he's my go-to guy when I go to games, and that's what he still wears going to games.
Of course, you have to at that point.
Travis Derby.
And now, you got to keep the legacy alive. It's
Mhm.
probably a lot safer than buying it off somebody at the pickle. So kudos to him for going Sheenats. So what's your Wednesday wildcard question here? We're in the season. The lights are up. Everybody's kind of just saying, all right, let's sink into Christmas. What's your biggest holiday pet peeve? Do you have one? Song you can't stand, holiday pet peeve, tradition that really irks you, something that really torques you
I used to
up?
get really annoyed when the Christmas Story was on 24 hours.
Oh,
That
when they
doesn't
ran
bother
that
me.
back to back to back?
I think they still do.
TBS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that doesn't really bother me that much anymore.
You're not as fragile as you used to be?
No.
Would you put that movie in your top 5 favorites of all time?
No, because I haven't watched it in a long time.
What's number 1 right now
Christmas
in the
Vacation.
Kasper household gets Christmas Vacation?
Home
Okay.
Alone.
Uh-huh.
Home Alone 2. Elf.
Okay.
And
You got to put Charlie Brown or the Grinch in there, man.
Veronica likes the Grinch, so.
The original Dr. Seuss Grinch.
She likes the Jim Carrey one.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, it does account for her taste in guys, though. I'm seeing a resemblance.
Wow, way to go from holiday spirit to that.
Grumpy
so
and
appreciate
grinchy.
it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, she's got a type.
Okay, second hour on this Wednesday morning, December 6th. Appreciate you tuning in wherever, however you may be tuning in from. Coming up, we'll get to a little football chat. We'll get to some baseball chat. Winter meetings going on in Nashville right now. Where's Ohtani going? That's the main question. We're actually going to make some picks based off the odds and such. If you want to give us your picks and predictions on where you think Ohtani's going to land, hit us up with the text, all right? Have a little fun with us. 715-830-1912 with the text. Hit us up on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line with a quick text over there. We'll get back to some hoops talk after the big wins last night from the Bucks, who move on to the semis in the in-season tournament, and then the Badgers with a big win as well against Michigan State. Also, cool night last night too. Eau Claire North. Shout out to Eau Claire North. It could be actually a stock riser on this one too, but Eau Claire North hosting their first ever all-girls wrestling meet last night. So shout out to Eau Claire North over there. They did fall to Holman, but really cool story, making history last night. So got to give them a shout out too. I won't be in on Friday, but I'll just, you know what? We're going to do a Wednesday edition of this. We usually do it Friday, the Carpet City Flooring Center local spotlight. Well, we're going to do it on a Wednesday and give it to Eau Claire North Wrestling. Eau Claire North Wrestling, the inaugural girls wrestling home duel against Holman there. So they get our Carpet City, our early version of Carpet City Flooring Center local spotlight, the Eau Claire North girls wrestling team. Let's do some sports nuggets of the day. Not a lot, but I'm going to add a little trivia question to this one here in a second. But let's do our sports nuggets of the day. Gene Autry and Bob Reynolds were granted the Los Angeles Angels baseball franchise by the American League. 1988, the Milwaukee Bucks won their 1,000th NBA game. Your question, trivia. Try not to look it up and try not to cheat. See if anybody gets it right. Who'd they beat? Who'd they beat this day in 1988 for their 1,000th career win? Also, in 1990, the NHL granted a membership to the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Ottawa Senators. Those are just some of your sports nuggets of the day for this morning. Got a couple of jersey picks. Derek Mays from Living a Dream, Jeff. C-Bomb's got a Danny Vitale, number 45 jersey, make fullbacks great again. We mentioned G-Man with that Craig Newsom one. Dave saying that G-Man got jealous when I told him I have a Ray Nitschke, number 66 jersey. G-Man, how do you not have a Ray Nitschke jersey in your collection? You got over 100 of those things. How do you not have a 66 in that collection? We've got a Deion Sanders Falcons jersey from Chad. Kind of jealous of that one. I do have a Deion 49ers one. Got that for Christmas actually a while back. Adam commenting in our group page. This is a solid one, and I think our good friend Brandon Berg would appreciate this one. Adam Banks, Mighty Ducks. Solid pull. I do know. I had a buddy of mine I used to play softball with, had a Ricky Vaughn jersey from Major League. He had a Ricky Vaughn jersey from Major League. He also had a Ryan Braun University of Miami jersey on there too. But I've seen more of the Euchre Milwaukee ones lately. I've seen some people wearing those, but yeah, I saw the Ricky Vaughn one. He got that one, 99 Cleveland. I don't know if that would be his pick or not. He had a pretty decent collection over there too. So, but keep these coming. We're looking for the most obscure, random. Can't believe I actually have that jersey. Why do I have that jersey? I'll tell you, like, I had a Stephon Marbury one when he was with the T-Wolves. I've got a couple of Dream Team ones. And a reason that I have a lot of these, that I still have a lot of these, I might have actually donated some, I don't remember. But the reason I have a lot of these too was because they were on the clearance rack. when you're a youngster and you don't have a lot of cash and you're in middle school and that, but you want jerseys. Because, I mean, come on, the 90s, early 2000s, it was wearing wind pants and jerseys. That was the style. Bring it back, please. But, you know, you couldn't afford, like, big-time brand-new jerseys all the time. So I was, like, stomping the clearance racks from Shields. Every time we'd make a trip over here to Eau Claire, go to Shields. All right. Found a Penny Hardaway one for like $10, $15 one year. I still got that one. But that's how I got a lot of my obscure ones. Ryan Leaf, Stephon Marbury, a couple of Dream Team ones. There was an Olajuwon Dream Team. There was actually a Shaq Dream Team too. But that was before the internet too, so you'd get these catalogs. And I remember always looking like, man, I want a Shaq jersey. And I finally got a Shaq jersey in the 4th grade. Finally got a Shaq one. But you're just looking at them and good times. You know, one random player I did look up, I was a huge Orlando Magic fan as a kid, Dennis Scott. You want to know how much Dennis Scott jerseys are going for on eBay right now? Hundreds of dollars. Dennis freaking Scott. Number 3 for Orlando. Champion jerseys too, you know, with the little C in the top. Over hundreds of dollars for Dennis Scott over there. I'll live in a dream, Jeff. I have a Hanson Brothers sweater from Slapshot. Nice. Aaron, he had a Ricky Woods jersey from the Bengals. Another texter, BJ Surhoff and Gary Sheffield Brewers jerseys. Chris from Eau Claire. I have a Kings Bobby Hurley jersey. Solid pull. We got another texter. Don't forget to add to your names to these texts if you don't mind. Jeff Query at number 85 on there too. All right, keep these coming. We might have to make our Festivus show. If we do it on location somewhere, we may have to make our Festivus show kind of a random jersey Christmas party over there too. I like this idea. I like that idea. Nate on our group page, Paul Pierce, Kansas Jayhawks, and Sean Kemp Supersonics. I've seen a couple people recently, I think, purchasing those too. Yeah, I mean, now you go to the stores too, and they've got like the throwback 90s jerseys. I think when I was at Shields the other day, Hudson wanted to pick out his allowance thing, picked out some cards in that. Larry Johnson Hornets jersey over there. Oh, yeah. Keep these coming. These are some good ones. Might have to put it to a vote. Who's got the most random? This is a contest now. Who's got the most random, most obscure jersey in their closet, folded up, tucked away in a corner, in a rubber tote in their garage or in their attic? They don't even know that they have it. They don't even bring it out. It's probably full of, mothballs and dusts or cobwebs. Which one do you got out there? All right. You do not have a Bucks Darvin Ham, Tim, do you? I'm gonna need a photo to prove that one. Bucks Darvin Ham, solid pull. That's a solid pull too. So, all right, keep these coming. All right, hit me up with a text 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. We'll get back to some more coming up in just a little bit later on here. Baseball wise, rumors going on. Matt Arnold talking a little bit at winter meetings after the Jackson Cheerio. Day after the Jackson Cheerio news there. But he talked a little bit with MLB.com. And a lot of the talk out there with the Jackson Cheerio deal has been, will the Brewers kind of go through a rebuild, a little bit of a retool? Are they going to start to sell off some of their players like a Corbin Burns and a Willie Adames because they gave their 19-year-old prospect this big-time contract? Matt Arnold said just yesterday, nope, I see it the other way. I think this is an investment in our franchise from our ownership group to do more. I think it aligns with what we want to do, which is to compete in 2024. Adding somebody like a Jackson Cheerio potentially to our opening day roster, and then signing somebody like Wade Miley, who's 37 years old, I think it's a commitment from Mark Anasio and his family to make the Brewers really viable in Wisconsin for a long time. Buying that or selling that? Believe them or not? I think it still remains to be seen, right? But what about Corbin Burns? Remember a couple months ago, he said that I would expect him to be a Brewer here next year. Well, he was asked about that again, and he said, no, I think that's still our position. Certainly, we're getting a lot of traction on Burns, and this week is a popular week to have those conversations, but we're certainly thrilled to have him. Same for Willie Adames. Said very similar. We love what he brings to our team. Again, thrilled to have him. This is kind of what I feel. I still feel like the Brewers are going to go into this season. I still feel like they're going to go into the season and have Burns as their opening day starter, their number one pitcher, Willie Adames in the lineup, unless they get this offer they can't refuse, that just blows it out of the water, blows them out of the water. Unless they get that before the season starts, I feel like those guys are still going to be on the roster. But if things are going downhill, it's not a very good season, then you get to that trade deadline, then I think those guys are getting traded. Then I think they're going to move on from them. Does it mean that they might get a little bit less in return? Probably. But you might have a couple desperate teams that might overpay and kind of bid against each other. But I still feel like Brewers are going to open up their season with those guys on the team. They're still going to try to compete, be a playoff caliber team. And then if it's not going very well, if it's going south, or it's kind of evident that, they're not going to be a postseason team, then maybe they trade. But the thing is, too, is like they would have to be really completely out of it, like not just a game or a couple games out of it. So it might be a tough decision time to come up when we get there at that trade deadline. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll have more. We'll get back to some hoops talk as well with that Badger win last night and the Bucks win also. Are you starting to pay a little bit more attention to that in-season tournament? Are you starting to buy into that in-season tournament? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'll admit it. I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more. But what are your thoughts? Let us know. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back and keep sending your obscure jerseys. We've got a few more to get to coming up after these quick words. What's on the menu for Christmas dinner this year? Juicy ribeye steak, maybe some pork chops, ribs, or chicken, whatever it may be. Or maybe you're still looking for some ideas. Then you should be making a trip to Mike's Star Market on the west side of Eau Claire. Since 1990, Mike's Star Market has been offering the best beef, lean pork, sausages, and brats, condiments, and custom spice mixes, all handmade right in their store for the freshest flavor. And what's the holidays without some sweets? Mike's also has chocolates and now a wide variety of freeze-dried candy. So visit Mike's Star Markets at 2238 Heimstead Road in Eau Claire. Was there yesterday too. Walk in, that smell. Oh, love the smell in there too. But yeah, guava. Try their guava freeze-dried candy if they have any left, because that's Hudson's favorites over there too. So a couple more. We got James saying when he was 7, he loved the Montreal Expos jersey. Didn't have much money as a family, but my mom made me a Tim Raines powder blue baseball jersey. One of the happiest days of my childhood. Go, Mom. We got Big Worm. I was wondering if you were gonna send a text, because I believe you were the one that also got a Sean Kemp one last year too. But the 2 newest jerseys that he purchased, he sent over some pictures. Bill Lambier, solid, and then white chocolate himself, Jason Williams, Kings jersey over there. Evil Surveyor. I don't know if the actual surveyor's listening, but Evil Surveyor saying, I'm asking Santa this year for a Surveyor Sam game-worn rugby jersey over there too. So keep these coming. All right, keep them coming. 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. You missed it a little bit earlier, Luke, but I was looking up good old Dennis Scott jerseys from Orlando.
Ooh.
Over hundreds of dollars on eBay they're going right now.
Really?
Yeah. One
These
of
are
them
not game worn. These are like just general ones?
the champion ones from the 90s. Yeah, there's even one. An authentic champion Orlando Magic jersey. Dennis Scott. 12 watchers on this thing. $700, their best offer.
Wow.
I missed out as a kid to get my Dennis Scott jersey, apparently. 3-pointer from the corner, baby. But, man.
That's still a lot of money.
I wonder how much I can get from my Ryan Leaf jersey right now. Should look that up, too.
Let's see. Like, what's the worst jersey someone could sell on eBay?
Okay. This, the champion one, which I have. Okay. Some of them are going for about $100 or $70. All right, I can make some money here.
Okay.
I like it. What was your first jersey?
That would be the Warren Moon jersey that I still have.
Okay.
1994, right after he got signed by the Vikings, and it was like,
is that your most obscure one?
Well, the thing is, and this is really weird, that you'd think I'd have like probably a closet full of jerseys, being that I'm probably the closest thing to resident jersey guy. I think I have 2. That one and the Paul Molitor powder blue one. I guess Warren Moon counts as obscure because, like, if you went to a Vikings game and you start, like when you go to Packers games and you scan around to see like what's like the most random one, hence like the Travis Jervey jersey, stuff like that. I don't know that I've ever seen a Warren Moon jersey. I'm sure I have. The other thing is, one was also Gary Anderson's number, and great as he was, there's probably a certain element of among Vikings fans, is of like, they immediately trigger 1998. And again, it's not his fault, but that's all there. So I don't know. It's almost one where if I saw someone with a Warren Moon jersey, I might have to go up and be like, hey, cool jersey. Because it'd be so odd, given that he's a Hall of Famer, one of the better quarterbacks of the latter 20th century. I mean, if he didn't play in the CFL, he might have had some of the all-time records. But he's been kind of memory hold a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's maybe because the expectations were high. That they were for me. I bought it because I thought, wow, they got a shot. And they were good, but the Vikings have underwhelmed in the mid-90s. So, yeah, that's that. Even with my 2 jerseys, I think that's the one.
We got a fantastic one from our good buddy Jason. How about a game/tournament worn vintage Flaters softball jersey, number 8 original and only issue, one of a kind, complete with custom cutoff sleeves, various stains from God knows what, and a slight tear in the back from an encounter with a turkey somewhere near Elk Point. Throw in an original Flaters ball cap signed by Fergie Jenkins on the bar at Flaters. Rough to beat that combo. This could be I love that. This could be another. We could sidetrack this for how many. I know we got a lot of them. Old-time former slow pitch softball players listening.
Mhm.
I've got a tote full of those jerseys too. We could have some fun with that wearing your old school slow pitch softball. I know Brandon would jump into that too, wearing his Bellinger Institute of Technology Exploding Pandas jerseys that they used to wear. Blaze orange, by the way. That would be another sidetrack. Big Worm, I know you'd have some over there too. So, but that would be another good one. Ray's Place, I know you'd have some there too. So, oh yeah. We might have to make that a side one too.
Wow.
I can only imagine. I want to know about this turkey story though. An encounter in Elk Point with a turkey. By the way, we got a neighborhood turkey.
I saw that.
Yesterday it was in the yard, in the house right across. So when I got home, it was standing there, stood there for 3 hours.
Just like eyeing you, like.
Well, and the thing is like, I said, "Hey, what up?" It talks back. So I had a conversation for 10 seconds. Part of me wants to get my turkey call out and work on my turkey calls with that thing, but I'm worried it might get a little aggressive with me. So I'm gonna cool it. So yeah. Neighborhood turkey.
Well, see, now that you've kind of established a vibe with it, I mean, like, there's no way anyone could kill it.
Better not, but there were some kids that were chasing it around, and I got a little upset with them. I'm like, leave the turkey alone, okay? Because there used to be 3, so I'm assuming the other 2 are no longer with us.
This has the making of like some sort of.
That turkey is pardoned from any sort of season or Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I feel like this is a movie version of a child's book that came out in like 1975.
Mm-hmm.
The Captain and the Turkey, or something like that.
But I do kind of want to work at. I'm hoping it's around in spring so I can work on my turkey calling then. So see if I need to improve or something like that. But no, I had said, "Hey, what's up?" And it clucked at me, and I said something again, and it clucked at me, and I'm like, "All right, have a good day." And I walked in the house, and it stood there for 3 hours. So
I wonder what it was actually saying.
Who knows? And yeah,
can anyone translate turkey?
No.
What
do we got another one here too? Where did that? I'll bring it up a little bit later on. So, all right. Hoops wise, Badgers picking up the W last night. Maybe that is a stock riser for some of you as this Badger basketball team. You can send us your stock risers and stock fallers. We'll get to ours coming up in the next hour. Hit us up with a text. But they picked up that win, 70-57 against Michigan State last night. This is after their big-time win against Marquette on Saturday. Now we've got number 1, Arizona. The Badgers will be traveling over to Arizona to take on the number 1 team in the country. A tough task here, but you got to be impressed with what we've seen from this Badger basketball team thus far.
What?
Fire Greg Gard.
I saw that last night. One of our coworkers, who is a die-hard Badger fan, was saying just that, like, okay, so where are the Greg Gard haters now? And acknowledging that there are weaknesses, but
there's going to be weaknesses for every single team.
Right, that's the thing. Like sure, but does he need? Okay, so we're not going to turn the level meter into the guard gauge or something like that. But I mean, Greg Gard's job is safe for this year. I don't think that's even a question. There's no way he would get fired mid. He's safe for this year. Has Greg Gard saved his job for next year?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which I did wonder a bit, because Chris McIntosh sure seems to be wanting to, put his folks in, and I think there's a somewhat of a presumption that maybe Gard wasn't quite his guy. Not that he's not his guy, but he'd rather have someone else. Well, I don't know who that else would be, and this might be. I feel like the Badgers had a similar start. I'm trying to remember which year it was, but it was like 2018 or something like that. One of those years where you're like, oh, pleasant surprise from this team to begin the season. This is that even more. I will admit, I have not watched the game. Like, I couldn't watch Wisconsin Marquette. I was on a bus on Saturday, so I was stunned as I'm seeing the results coming in, and I wish I could have seen that. So what is it? From what you've been able to tell, what's what was RJ say? What's happening this year? Why is it so good?
Well, I mean, it's AJ Storr, as we've been talking
Yeah.
about, the youngster transfer. I mean, he dropped 22 points last night. You got a freshman guard in Blackwell coming off the bench, being a big-time contributor last night. He had 10 points. But it's Stephen Kroll, too, also taking a step this year. I mean, the dude was 4 for 4 from 3. He's developed that shot. But ever since kind of Greg Gard called him out and Tyler Wall out, Stephen Kroll has really stepped up, and I think he's taken a step this year. He had 18 points last night as well. It's a mixture of him. It's you got your youngsters coming in. Obviously, with the Marquette game, you had Max Klesmit dropping over 20 points in that game. So you're getting contributors from that. I think we're all kind of waiting to see when Connor Essegian, his back, if it can get healthy. Does that take this up another notch at this point in time? I just think you've got a mixture of incredibly talented youngsters on this team with Storr and Blackwell kind of leading the way. And you got your veterans that are being the role players that they're probably better suited for. Last year, we counted on guys like Tyler Wall to be a go-to guy. He's not a go-to guy, and he doesn't have to be a go-to guy for this year because of guys like Storr and even Kroll stepping up. Chucky Hepburn started off the season fantastic, but like a lot of people said out there too, can he do it consistently? And so far he hasn't. I mean, in the big games, he's kind of gone quiet on the offensive side of things. So, but it's proven, with these youngsters stepping up and these athletic freaks stepping up, that they can be just role players, and that might fit their games better. It obviously fits this team better at this point in time. That doesn't mean to say that they can't be, pull out a performance like Klesmit did the other day, dropping over 20 points. They may have to do that at certain points in the season, but right now I would say it's the youngsters. It's providing that energy, that youth, and just athletic freaking skills, basketball skills that I think they've lacked in a while. AJ Storr is a 6'7" wing that Wisconsin hasn't had in a while. Blackwell's a 6'4" guard coming off the bench. They haven't had those type of athletes, those type of basketball players in a few years, in a while there. And with this is building confidence. They're buying in right now, and it's a lot of fun. And I think they're a top 3 team in the Big Ten, behind Purdue and behind maybe even number 2. It'll be fascinating to see how they match up against Illinois when they get to that point.
Is there a scenario where Wisconsin ends up with a higher seed than Marquette? That's a
No.
hot take, but is
well, if they beat Arizona, they skyrocket into the top 10.
yes.
That should be a no-brainer, I think, in my opinion. If within a week, if you beat the number 3 team when you played them, and then you beat the number 1 team on the road in their house, you should skyrocket up into the top 10.
Yes.
Obviously they'll have Purdue later on, but
and a whole season to go, of
yeah.
course. But
I think no. And at that point, I think Wisconsin's taken a little bit of a page out of the Michigan State playbook, where they schedule these tough games at the beginning of the year, and maybe their records suffer. Wisconsin hasn't suffered yet, but maybe their records suffer a little bit. But and then they have those lower seeds when it gets to the tournament. But what's a rule when you're picking your brackets? Michigan State always seems to make a little bit of a advancement, don't they? They may be a 6 seed, they may be a 7 seed, but they seem like they're always a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8 team. And I think a lot of that has to do with because Tom Izzo schedules those games against Duke and Arizona, or those big time matchups early in the season, to gain that experience right away and to take their lumps right away. But it pays off in the end. They may suffer a little bit in the standings, but it pays off in the end.
Hey, it just happened now. Probably somewhat unexpectedly, but it just happened to the Spartans. Hey, there's another lump you just took.
Mm-hmm.
You took it against.
But I'm not overlooking them.
Right.
I'm not going to. I mean, how many times have we seen this from Michigan State? I guarantee you they probably will be, 4th, 5th in the Big Ten because of, maybe even 3rd. And they'll probably get like a 5, 6 seed in the tournament. Would you be surprised they made another Sweet 16, though? Shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. This season got way more interesting because of what the Badgers did. I mean, I still think for at least outside of Wisconsin, this is coming out of left field. Now, again, if they lose to Arizona, I don't think I'm not going to suddenly back off on that. That would be a heck of an ask to beat that many top 5 / overall elite programs in the course of a week. That is a lot. but man, they have acquitted themselves very well. Barring a collapse at some point during the season, I'll have to see what the next bracketology is. And yes, in case those listening are not familiar, bracketology happens. It's almost a year-round thing at this point. Joe Lenardi's on it. That's all he does with his life. I think I could see the Badgers maybe being do the math here, 4 seed, maybe a 3 in the next bracketology. Would not surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, I could not have fathomed that even a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be legitimate.
Yeah. Preseason pick was around 5. I think they're going to, again, probably exceed that expectation when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we got a few more jerseys to get to here. D9, I should have known better. Our good buddy D9 Derek over there. Let me bring it back up. His jerseys collection. This is darn impressive. Matt Harpring, 76ers jersey. Would have gotten extra points if it was an Orlando one, just saying. Eric Montross, Celtics. This is the second time this one has been brought up. Bobby Hurley, Kings jersey. We've got multiple people with a Bobby Hurley, Kings jersey.
Why?
I don't know. This is the second one also here. Jeff Query, Packers jersey. Second one.
Whoa.
Second one this morning. Also a second Travis Jervey, Packers jersey. Bob Sura, FSU.
Wow.
Jersey over there. So Kevin has a Rafe LaFrance jersey with
Yes.
Kansas, Nick Van Axel Lakers. And then I was almost a little bit ago to say, if anybody says they have a Rick Smits or a Detlef Shrimp jersey, you're probably my new best friend. Well, Kevin has a Detlef Shrimp Sonics jersey. So
did we just become best friends? There's your quote right there.
yeah.
We need a photo of this.
Yep. So good time. I don't know. Did anybody? I don't know if you saw this. I don't know how old this is, but I just saw it Friday night. I think Dirk Nowitzki said that somebody asked him if he was Rick Smits, and Dirk said, "I wasn't even mad. In fact, I was impressed with the man's NBA history. Kudos, well said." Yep.
The thing is, Rick Smits was pretty. I don't want to say popular because then it sounds like, well, again, everyone was out buying his jersey. I mean, maybe, but he was well known, especially those late 90s Indiana teams. Oh gosh, Rick Smits was quite commonly known around that time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That's a really funny one.
I like that. There's some good ones, and I don't know if we're going to have quite the competition to find out who's got the best one. And I know D9's got quite the probably softball collection over there too. So
I got to think of what kind of jersey would I go seek out? Because it's got to mean if you're gonna then go find an obscure jersey, it's got to mean something to you.
Yeah,
from your youth or something like that. Like
the thing is I've got, or as a kid, I shouldn't say I always got, but I had a Penny Hardaway one. And I know Travis from Maytown said he had a Penny Hardaway one as a kid. I have a Penny Hardaway one. I had a Shaq one. Favre. Yeah, and Brooks. Man, that's why I said my most obscure one is probably Ryan Leaf. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was going to be in the minority, but turns out Brandon and Justice also have a Ryan Leaf Chargers jersey. So,
but it makes sense at the time.
Mm-hmm. I bought it on clearance at Cedar Creek Mall in Wausau.
Nice.
Because when you're a kid, that's how I got all my jerseys initially. I would go to Shields when we'd come to Eau Claire for the day and look on their clearance rack. That's how I got my Penny Hardaway one. Was I think he got traded to Phoenix. I was still a Penny Hardaway fan. And it was a double XL, but it was Penny Hardaway for $15. I'm like, yep. Purchase. That's how I got my Robert Brooks one. Clearance. Purchase from Shields. Oh, I got a lot of my sports swag from Shields. It was on the clearance one as a kid.
Well,
so
yeah, that's the way to do it.
And this was before the internet, because I'd just look at the catalogs all the time and be like, God, I want that Shaq jersey. And I'd just circle them. Circle.
I think it's easier. I'd be kind of curious of the ages of everyone involved, because I think buying jerseys started to become a little more mainstream, decent jerseys to get, probably starting about your generation. Because when I was a kid, you could sometimes get kind of a sort of version of a jersey, but not really. Like there were replicas out there. There were some pretty decent ones, but they weren't easy to find. Like when the Warren Moon authentic one, quote unquote, and I do that in air quotes, came out in '94, and it was at which store was it at London Square Mall?
Oh God! Now
Right.
you're really going
Right.
back in the
And it was
day.
right nearby Orange Julius. So it's right near the center. Anyone who's been to London, who was a regular, you know where I'm talking about. It's not that far from the midpoint, like where the Big Ben was and the water fountain and all of that. And I think it was Foot Locker. I can't quite remember, but I think that's where they were located. And that was like, whoa, they got that? And it was like $100.
Mhm.
It wasn't even that much money. Well, at the time, of course, it felt like it was. Then it picked up after that. So if I were like 10 years younger, a lot easier to get jerseys. The replicas start getting of a higher quality / easier to afford and find. And then it's easy to pile up those things. Because I should say, I do remember some classmates that were already buying like NBA jerseys in the mid 90s. I can't remember exactly what, but they were starting to show up around 94, 95 or so.
Yeah.
So I think that's about when the whole jersey culture, jersey swag kind of became a thing, which was also right about the time the NBA started with their alternates. If you remember, that's when like the Bulls came out with the black ones with the pinstripes.
Yeah, that'd be like Orlando with the pinstripes.
Yep,
Too,
and that was right about that time and baseball suddenly, I distinctly remember it was the 1994 season when all these teams started with their alternate jerseys. Like, whoa, what's this? You don't just have to wear gray and white. And I think that was the beginning of let's do something that's more merch oriented. And now, of course, like merch runs everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. And I think that was the culture, mid-90s culture of let's go buy a jersey. So I'd be curious if most people listening are like in their late 30s, early 40s and younger that have all these older jerseys. Because you could just go out and buy one. Go to Shields. Go to one of those stores. Go to Target.
Well, that's like Hudson's asking me what's the next Packer one that I'm going to get. By the way, Richie, with your text, I got to know, where did you get the Jaden Reed jersey? Because that's what Hudson's got a new favorite player. Still likes A.J. Dillon, but his next new favorite player is Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Like loves Jaden Reed.
Understandable.
And Richie said he got his Jaden Reed jersey as an early Christmas present. So I got to know where you got that, man. Also, solid pull. He's got a Terry Glenn Packers jersey.
Wow.
The 1 year hit over there.
Wow.
Nice. So, all right, we got a couple more, but we got to take a quick break. But keep these coming. I love this because I need an idea. Now I'm getting in the mood, Luke. I want to buy one. I want to get a throwback one. I don't know if I could top Big Worm with his Bill Lambier one, but
No.
or his white chocolate Jason Williams. That's a solid pull there too. Bill Lambier is really solid. That's obscure. But I love the fact that they're bringing these throwbacks back.
You know what would be more obscure? Someone who back in the early 90s would have bought a Dennis Rodman Pistons jersey.
An original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back before he became Dennis Rodman. Back when you're like, you know what? I like the bad boys, and I'm going to go with Dennis Rodman. And it was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, defensive guy. That's a good choice. That
Nice.
would be an awesome one.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple more, but we're going to take a quick break to finish up this second hour, excuse me. Keep these coming. We got some good ones here. Don't forget, stock reports coming up just past the top of the hour as well. We'll be back after these quick words. Dave has a Hanson Charleston Chiefs Hanson Brothers jersey, hockey one there jersey that he wore Sunday. Nice pull. We've got a Pavel Bure. Remember Vancouver?
Pavel Bure?
Yeah, Pavel Bure.
Is Cameron Bure's husband?
Is that really her husband?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Canada's So
I have
think
a
it's
few
safe-
of his cards.
I mean, I hate to do the whole like who is it, whose husband or whose wife. I think it's pretty safe to say Pavel Bure is Candace Cameron Bure's husband.
Okay.
In terms of who's more prominent nowadays, I mean, it's holiday season. And it's Hallmark movie. Well, okay, right. He's a great American teacher. He
Yeah.
left Hallmark. Still, yep. That's
Okay.
yeah. Wow, that's a so that would that be the Canucks jersey with the what was it, like the electric skate? I'm trying to remember what the term is, but it's the black jersey with the yellow and red and white and it looks like a neon skate out of 1981. It's that jersey that they had in the '94 Stanley Cup Final against the Rangers. That was a really cool one.
Mike here, this is cool, and I have a Rasheed Wallace game-worn jersey, which he ripped off and threw into the crowd while being ejected at a Lakers game. That's pretty sweet.
Wow.
But more importantly, I have a 1982 Yokosuka Japan softball Little League American jersey, number 19, when we won the championship.
What?
Yeah, when we won the BASS championship.
What is that?
Send a pic, Mike.
Yes, that
Send a pic, Mike.
I have a lot of questions, like good questions,
Yeah.
but how did you get that? What's the context?
Yeah.
That sounds incredible.
Yes, it is the that Canucks jersey. Yes, the black one.
Yes.
I said there.
Nice.
Mark, that cracked me up, Captain. What you said before, that the style back in the late 90s, early 2000s was wind pants and jerseys. That's what my boys wore pretty much every day, I think, even at church. If you are around my age, you are probably guaranteed to have a school day photo, where you're wearing a turtleneck, a jersey, and wind pants. If you didn't, you did it wrong.
I can picture this.
I mean, I can picture, like I said earlier, I still have the Packers turtleneck I got in like elementary, middle school, and I still wear it for rifle hunting. It's one of my traditions. It's got holes all over the place, but it still fits. But I bought it when I got my Robert Brooks jersey, because that's what you did. You had to wear the turtleneck with it. But I've got school photos where I've got my Shaq Magic jersey with a white turtleneck, wind pants. It's either the Swish wind pants or the Ripaways. Bring it back. Like, this so much. I've contemplated this, and this is making me want to do it. I've been thinking about doing like a straight up 90s podcast. Like, thank God it's 90s.
Yeah.
TGIF, because Hudson's been watching all these TGIF shows. Really getting into my wheelhouse now.
Have you listened to 60 songs that explain the 90s?
I have not.
Oh, you should.
No.
The book just came out, the book version. We're up to 110 songs, by the way. There's only 10 more, and it's Rob Arvilla from The Ringer. He's been doing the tour lately. He was on Rolling Stone and Brian Rosillo, etc. Yeah, deep dives. Plus, I think he was born the same month I was, so like his cultural notes are like exactly the same as mine.
Everybody knows I loved 90s NBA, but I still believe 90s NFL was one of the best. Especially, I've got the old Tombstone Pizza. I just blanked. What are those called? Those little circle cardboard things.
What was it?
Oh, somebody help me out here. Oh, it's gonna bug me now, but you know what I mean. Not pods. Somebody help me out with that. But you know what I mean, right? Those little circle cardboard things that were like the rage. You'd collect them. Oh, God.
You know what? I think that was just after my time. I'm blanking, but that's just because I'm blanking at the moment.
Yeah, somebody help me out. You know what I'm talking about, but I have like Tombstone Pizza. This was big in Medford because that's where it's from. But you get a Tombstone Pizza and it'd have one of those like football ones. I got the whole collection. They also used to do football cards, like old quarterbacks, Bart Starr, Joe Theismann, that, plus baseball cards. I've got probably hundreds of those, like multiple Ken Griffey Jr.'s, Tony Gwynns, and Robin Yountz, and all that. Pogs! Thank you, Richie. That's what it was. I knew I was close. Look it up. Pogs. big in the 90s. Huge. So, all right. See, now I got to do that 90s podcast. I got to do it.
Get it going.
Get it going. All right, final hour kicking off right now on this Wednesday morning of December 6th. Hopefully, you're all off to a fantastic start. Appreciate you making us a part of your start on this Wednesday morning. We're going to get to some stock reports here in just a second. If you want to play along with us, you can by hitting us up with a text on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Stock risers, whose stock is going up and whose stock is going down. Let us know via that text over there. We'll get back to some baseball talk here too. The latest on Ohtani. We're going to make some picks. Play along with us if you want as well. Make your predictions. Where do you think Ohtani's going to go? Where do you think which rumor mill are you going to run with that he thinks he's going to go there? I'm sure a lot of you are going to probably pick the Dodgers. Do you think there's a chance for him to go back to the Angels? That's kind of a narrative or a rumor that's getting pushed out there too. But let's make some picks. We'll do that at the back end of this hour, but give you a little bit of time to send those on over if you would like. Solid. I don't know if Bill, if you were listening or something, but he also said Robert Brooks with the turtleneck was prime jersey choice. Had that set up for the Super Bowl in '96. Like it. I like it. All right, let's do some stock reports. Stock risers, stock fallers. I've got a few stock risers, so I'll let you go first. See if you have one of mine.
Stock risers?
Yeah.
There were actually a lot of good choices for risers, not many good choices for fallers this week, but I went with one. I think this is a trend here. Brian Gutekunst, I'm going to say this week.
Good pull.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the decisions are looking correct right now, and that's the thing. It fluctuates because wasn't he going to be fired earlier this season, like about a month and a half ago? Now it's looking like a pretty smart move. The main one, of course, we know.
Yeah.
But even some of the other ones are like the team starting to come around.
His draft class is looking pretty solid.
Yes, it is. This reflects well as of now. Let's see what the next few weeks bring. Let's see what next season brings, etc. All the usual caveats. That being said, his stock is clearly going up. After Sunday night's performance, man, that looks like a good choice back in 2020. Do you are you at the point now where you would undo your hat toss?
Close. Pretty close.
Okay.
I'm not ready to crown him yet. I will echo the words of Aaron Rodgers yesterday on the Pat McAfee show in studio because it was in New York.
I saw that. Wow.
It was in New York. So I would agree with to an extent what Aaron said about Jordan Love because he was asked again, are you surprised that, Jordan Love and all that? And he said no. But he said too, let's not crown him yet to the benefit of Jordan Love as well, because he doesn't need all that pressure on him right away, which I would agree with, not ready to crown him yet, but dang, it's looking good.
Yeah.
Right. It's really looking good. My Jordan Love-o-meter is at an 8 right now.
Yeah.
It's at an 8.
It is.
And I'll be honest with you, it's higher now than I ever thought it was going to be this season. So bring it on, baby.
I mean, I think I
love how Deadspin has an article now that says the Packers have what was it? I should have saved it. Have how to rebuild a team down to a science. Because it's like it doesn't take them long.
I mean, even if he doesn't end up becoming the third straight Mount Rushmore top 4 Hall of Fame quarterback of all time, if it becomes a pretty decent quarterback for the next 10 plus years and they're still a playoff contender, I mean, my gosh, then we're talking potentially 40 odd years.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, where you're competitive, you figure, they got a decent shot of the playoffs in most years. Most teams don't do that. It's them, the Steelers, and I'm probably blanking on a couple others, but it's pretty much like those two teams are the only ones.
Yeah, because I saw this resurface last year. It was from Ross Tucker. I think he was on a DP show. He's like, it must be really cool or great to be a Steelers and Packers fan, he said, because of what you just said. And I think a lot of fans kind of take it for granted a little bit.
I think
and that's during that run has been pretty much my entire life so far. And I know I've had older people tell me I've never experienced the 70s. And my response to them is like, you're right. And I don't want to. I get it. I understand the history, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people almost wear it as a badge of honor at the same time. Like, yeah, we went through that.
Right.
Good. I don't want to. I don't want to. You can have that. I don't want to. So, yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, there's a certain, we don't really hear the Packer way too much, that term. It's out there.
Not like the Patriot way.
Yeah. You don't really hear the Steeler way either, which is really funny. I think maybe because it's presumed to be the Rooney way, I guess, because there's always Rooney's in charge. But I don't know why either team is ever going to noticeably change. Will it bring them more championships? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe both teams are always really competitive and they don't win a Super Bowl. That's always a possibility. You don't know. But I'd kind of rather be in this spot than, oh, we have no shot. Like being a Cardinals fan right now. Like, really? Oh, great. Which is ironic given what they did with the Steelers 3 days ago. Yeah. But overall, no. So, yeah, Goody's doing pretty well right now.
Well, one of mine was, I mean, you could go a few different. I was going to just do Green Bay in general because you can go multiple layers. Goody, you can go Love, you can go Matt LaFleur. You can go Joe Barry even, right? Joe Barry, huh? Number 9th defense in the league in terms of points allowed right now. Yeah. With 2 corners that were a 7th-round rookie this year, although he is the Leslie Pipkins co-winner of the year. But the other one, Corey Ballantyne, a practice squad player up and down. Hey, got to give him credit where credit's due. So you could go multiple different ways. Since you said Goody, I will go the other route. Greg Gard, Badger basketball, stock riser. Yes. Big time stock riser right now.
Yes.
Stock faller. I think I know where you're going to go, but I'll let you go first.
Well, I'm actually, this might be going a little bit different. I'm going to go with the New York Football Jets.
Oh, dang it. That was mine. So, okay. I thought you were going to go college football playoff.
See, that would be really easy to do, and understandably so.
And maybe it's to me, but like I don't have them because I know why they did the 4. I think it's clearly evident why they did the 4 they did.
Why? Wait, what's your reason?
Business.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch FSU because they're scared it's going to be a blowout.
Right.
It's a straight up business decision.
It's entertainment, it's ratings, it's all of that stuff.
Nobody wants to see a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game.
Well, honestly, the college football playoff probably doesn't want to see another mega blowout semifinal.
Right, exactly. Because we've seen that
so many times.
And I honestly feel like if Florida State would have lit up Louisville, maybe they're in that. But the fact that it was close and low scoring for the longest time did not help their case. I don't care that they won.
Do you think, I heard this on
not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying it's a straight up business decision. It's not a football decision.
No, and by the way, if someone had asked me, like, okay, which do you think is the best of the options, Georgia, Alabama, or Florida State, I would go with Alabama. I think they would defeat Florida State. I think they would defeat Florida State even if Florida State were at full strength. I think Alabama is actually the better team right now. So actually, I think they got it right, annoying as the whole thing was. And yeah, they took a lot of flack, and I was really pondering doing that. And then I went, my gosh, this is all academic. It's going to be 12 teams next year. Like, every time I heard the Florida State people get angry, and I got their anger. Like, if I were a Seminole fan, oh my gosh, I'd be so livid. But then I'm like, okay, so now what are you going to do about it? They have all this really hot rhetoric. So you're not going to show up in the bowl game? Like, that's what you got to do.
And it's like an inadvertent thing. I don't think they did it on purpose, but I mentioned on Monday, it's kind of inadvertently for any of the doubters why you should expand it. There you go.
Right. So, yeah. And now we did.
If you're upset about Florida not being it, but you didn't want it expanded, here you go. There's a reason.
Right. It's just, come on. So, like, we know where this is all going. The Press Box podcast made an interesting point. And the people that are on that show are like diehard college football fans. Like the host, Brian Curtis from The Ringer, is a Texas alum. So he's got a bit of a thing in it. But he made an interesting point. Think of the timing of the games. Is it possible that, and I don't know how much the committee was influenced, because that's, again, all that matters. But Washington plays early on. They win, and they've locked their spot in the college football playoff. And then Texas plays. And they've really made their strong case for the college football playoff. By the time Florida State plays, they're like at the very end. They have a so-so game. And it's almost like mentally the slots are filled. What if you flipped them? What if Florida State played first? And with their victory and they're undefeated, Florida State, they kept on another undefeated season. Would the talk be they locked their spot in the college football? See, and suddenly now maybe what if Texas's game is last?
There's only one thing that, I mean, the one game that affected us all was, in my opinion, Georgia losing to Alabama. Georgia wins, Florida State's in.
That threw the whole thing off.
Yeah. Georgia wins, Texas and Florida State's in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, it's really more simple than that. It would actually be kind of nice to have all the games played at once.
Yeah, I would agree. I like that idea.
Which now,
networks won't like that, but
yeah. And now, of course, the problem with that is you got all these high stakes games all at the same time, and how in the world do you watch all of them at the same time?
And networks want to space it out, so you keep ratings going and viewers on and all that. So,
but look at some of these. I just want to throw this out there because I keep talking about the semifinal results. So what have we had? Like 27-6, 31-14, 49-28, 63-28, 30-3. I mean, there are some close ones. There was like the Rose Bowl, Georgia, Oklahoma back in the 2017 season. That was a all-timer. But 24-6, 24-7, 31-0, 38-0.
Well, wasn't the like Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota semifinals, like those were boring games too, weren't they?
Yeah.
Those eras?
Yeah, that was.
Would have been like 2012? No, 2014, 15?
Yeah, because he was.
Been 2015 because he was a draft pick, and those were picks in 2015. So.
Oh yeah, Oregon. Yep. You're thinking of the Rose Bowl. Oregon 59, Florida State 20.
Yeah.
And that would right. So the semifinals aren't always the most interesting thing to watch, and they may still not be. I mean, you don't know till you play the game. But I think that was part of it. So yeah, I think there was reason to rip on them, and at the same time, it's all kind of a moot point.
If Florida State would have got in as a 4 and they had to play Michigan, that would have been the Saturday AFC Championship matchup, wild card weekend, Raiders Texans.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And shouldn't they just like move the game to Energy Stadium?
Yeah. Yep. That's your first wild card game of the weekend that nobody cares about, and then you put Drew Brees in the booth to call it and all that, and like nobody cares.
Yep. That one. Yep. I love that. Hey, by the way, that's in play for this year. Again, thanks to the Texans doing better.
I know, right?
I know. Well, actually, would that be like the game you actually want to watch now with C.J. Stroud involved? Yes. Like, would that be an insult to the Texans? They get stuck with Saturday 3:30.
They're the 7th seed right now, or the Colts the 7th seed?
I don't remember.
Or no, the Texans are on the outside looking in right now. Tiebreakers.
So fluid.
So let's say if they're to 7, actually, I don't know, because it would be like maybe the Dolphins or the Chiefs or Ravens or something like that. If it's the Ravens, I feel like it would be an AFC one. I don't know. CJ Stroud, though, that might be a deciding factor there.
Plus, is that going to be the Fox game, or is that going to be the NBC B team with Jason Garrett?
I'll just say this to my buddy Jake, who's maybe listening right now. He's the only guy I talked to during a Packer game. And I know Jason Garrett kind of struggled a little bit. Or like, oh no, it was because the pregame picked all Chiefs.
Yeah.
I get a text from my buddy Jake. He's like, text your buddy Garrett and tell him to stop it.
Because you did meet Jason Garrett.
I did at a Dairy Queen.
Right, when he was on the trip with Peter King.
Yeah.
So
Jason Garrett. I got a picture in my office.
I know. You met Jason. How was he?
Jason is very nice in person. He's very nice in person. And he said he's a pro at taking selfies. He's the one who took that picture.
I love that.
Yeah, he's a very nice person.
That's the thing. We rip on these guys because, of course, we're never going to. You actually met him. Like, if I were in your shoes, like, there's no way I'd be able to rag on him because I'm like, you know what? He tries. He's doing his thing. He's probably a decent guy, and it maybe just doesn't quite work for the fine.
Yeah, he was telling that when they go to Green Bay, he's staying with Rich Bisaccia and his family because they coach together and such. So, yep.
And he's totally going to be doing the Peacock game or whatever or whatever NBC game. So speaking of football, yes, it's the Jets. I mean, I wouldn't do that just because I mean, the Jets are so easy to rip on. But after Aaron Rodgers' comments yesterday,
yeah,
that this was the first time I legitimately thought, oh my gosh, the Favre 2000 7 to 9 pattern might actually be happening again. Now he's upset. Now Rodgers is upset with his team. What comes next?
He ain't
Does
going
want-
to miss.
And I don't want because I don't think he's going to make the Vikings look Super Bowl. That's the whole reason why you'd want him. And no, he's not there. But this was the first time I went, ooh, one and done. Where does he go next?
I don't think he's one and done.
No, I don't think so either. I think
No.
it's just it's again Aaron Rodgers being he's Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers is probably the best way I can put that. That being said, gosh, that organization sucks.
That's the thing. It's like, where he made the comment about, good organizations or championship organizations don't have this. I'm like, well, look at the organization.
You
Aaron,
wanted to go there.
It's like, hey,
There what?
Here's the thing too. Like, this is where, again, I know, was it last week we talked about where you let a guy have so much control? Any other team, Nathaniel Hackett would be gone by now. Would we agree?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett would be gone by now. We talked about the Alan Lazard thing and all that. Nathaniel Hackett, if you're a Jets fan, I'm sorry, but Nathaniel Hackett's going to be your offensive coordinator next year. If Aaron's there, Nathaniel Hackett's going to be your offensive coordinator. That's going to happen.
Because you got to see what it's like when Aaron's on the field.
It's going to be a thing. It's just this is what happens when you give full control.
I've heard
Robert Saleh's comment or answer to why they're keeping Nathaniel Hackett. His response: watch the all 22. Way to brush that aside and not really answer the question.
Okay. Okay. A lot of people do watch the all 22, and I don't think you're getting too many of the analytics types going. Actually, I don't know. It's just it's not a great place to play. It just is. I thought I had another point on it, and I think
when Zach Wilson reportedly does not want to go and play. Which, hey, kudos to him, I guess, too. But, what that tells you something.
Well, and according to the story, like, I guess he was, like, just kind of feeling something. See, I think this gets into the organization thing that apparently whoever he talked to was like, oh, he doesn't want to play, and turned it into a game of telephone.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, oh, my gosh.
I do think it's kind of funny, like one of the reasons is because he might get hurt. It's like, this is what we've been saying, why Aaron shouldn't go out there either.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Zach should be telling Aaron, dude, don't go out there. Don't go out there.
Hey, but wait, now what's Aaron going to think now that Tim Boyle is?
I know, right?
He's gone. They actually got rid of an Aaron Rodgers guy. What?
I know.
Wow.
I don't think he was asked about that yesterday.
Maybe that's why he was a little spicy on the show. I don't know. I don't think I've heard a team's fan base given as many apologies by media folks. Like, they feel sorry for Jets fans. And I'm like, well, there are plenty of other fan bases that probably deserve sympathy more than Jets fans. And I know it's been since '69. It's just the one title, but it's a memorable one. Talk to Bills fans, talk to Vikings fans, talk to Chargers. Well, there's like 3 Chargers.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. The Jets did this to themselves.
Yes.
They don't need. They could have gone out and tried to get a more established backup quarterback when this happened. They could have done that. They could have went out there and got somebody, for crying out loud.
Oh, man, right.
I mean, would they still be a playoff team? Probably not. But they could have protected themselves a little bit better with this thing. Instead of picking up the phone and seeing if they could still acquire Devontae Adams by the trade deadline. For crying out loud.
See this, but then the organization overall, a lot of the things that have been happening, even a lot of them are not necessarily they're not Aaron Rodgers related. I don't think it's stuff like, again, people breaking confidence with what a player says, and they're going to go tell someone else about that, and a lot of other stuff happening with this team. Okay, so if you were given the opportunity to work in an NFL front office,
I'd be fired within a week, but go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. But if you get that chance, which organization would you least like to join? You're going to get hired, and you're going to work, and you're going to make.
And I get to pick.
You're going to be in the
prodigy.
yearbook. You're going to be the media
prodigy.
guide. Dan Kasper, assistant vice president for regional scouting, Upper Michigan. I'm just throwing some random title out there, but you're there.
Under the radar talent up there. Yep.
Totally. Hey, I've been up there. They got stuff. Which one do you most avoid? Is it the Jets at this point?
Um,
And you got, and I mean, maybe it's a rival. So would you want to work for the Bears or the Vikings or someone like that? But again, you're working front office, so this is all professional.
right.
Are the Jets the one you most? I got to imagine they're near the top of the list of avoid at all costs.
I'm going down. Honestly, it might be Carolina
Oh,
with the whole Tepper situation there too. I might throw that one in there.
ouch. Actually, well, that's a tough one because I think the Jets are more dysfunctional. I think the Panthers have less hope. And though I'm parsing, but I think that might be the case.
David Tepper might fire you within a couple of weeks, though. Too. That's the thing. I mean, he treats his teams like they're hockey teams or baseball teams, firing coaches
True,
right away.
You might get a decent severance package.
That's true. Although it's not a coach severance package.
That's
so
true. That's true.
I'd want some guarantees in that thing.
Well, and then and at least you're in Carolina. You might be able to pick up something with like North Carolina. You can go over there and maybe you be surrounded by Jordan.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I might be Michael Jordan's neighbor.
Would that be the worst outcome? No.
Probably if I'd get fired and I meant or paid for that house, and then I'd have nothing to pay for it.
Okay,
so,
that's true. That's a problem.
I mean, the Giants aren't the greatest situation right now either, but
organizationally, like they've had some issues of late, but by and large, they're generally stable.
I'm looking. So if you're a scout, you're working under the general manager. So I'm looking at this from a general manager standpoint.
Okay.
Joe Douglas has made some stupid mistakes. He's let a player control, but for the most part, he has made some good selections though too. Besides Zach Wilson, Brees Hall, Wilson, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina is just no. Trying to go down the list here a little bit more too. Arizona's kind of a mess too.
Cardinals, I think, are at a stay away right now.
They're top 5. Jets are. I'd say top 5.
Yeah. I think I might actually put Arizona. Now that I really think about this, I think Arizona would, of any front office capacity for me, I think I wouldn't want Arizona because the front office stuff sounds bad, like it seeps through. I'm wary of, again, but if I'm joining the Panthers, I don't know if David Tepper knows who I am. So, because of course I'm very junior level.
Well, it's a good thing you're not working under John Dorsey at any time. I don't know if you remember those stories.
No, I don't.
He down to even like the janitorial staff. He would, I think this was when he was with the Chiefs, take a pencil and make a mark on a stair and check it to see if it was clean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would not want to work with someone like that.
That micromanagement there, thank you.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think the Cardinals are one, but you're right. Jets are top 5. Mm-hmm. That again, it seems like there's something wrong with the overall vibe in the organization.
Yeah. All right, let's. We got to
have your stock fall. Oh yeah, it was because the Jets.
It was the Jets, yeah. But speaking of which, I want to take a quick break here because I will play that clip from Aaron yesterday because he also made a nugget about his time in Green Bay, and did he casually admit something he did wrong in Green Bay? I want to preview it because just the cuss words, even though it is on TV now, but they still drop it there. So we'll take a quick break. We'll play that in case you missed it from yesterday. But we'll be back after these few words. All right, coming up in about 10 minutes or so, we're gonna do some picks, game picks, but also Lucas, I want it's our new picks and predicts segment.
Ooh.
Predict where Otani is going to land maybe this week. Okay, got a lot of rumors out there.
Mhm.
Blue Jays, Dodgers, back to the Angels, Cubs sneaking in there. So we're gonna get to that coming up in about 10 minutes or so. We'll make some picks and then predicts with that too. But before that, I wanted to play a little bit of this. This was from not to be all Aaron Rodgers and McAfee and all that sort of stuff, but I thought this was an interesting clip, and there was a line in here that he also kind of said about his time in Green Bay. But audio courtesy, Pat McAfee Show, Aaron Rodgers yesterday.
As we've talked to you, this
There you go. That's from Pat McAfee's show yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, there's too much quick evaluation.
Mhm.
And,
Absolutely.
way too much. I know we get how sports culture has evolved, but that's not right.
Right.
And we're doing that now. Bryce Young sucks. Really? I mean, he's too
Exactly.
short to play in the NFL. Well, you seen the team he's playing with all the I mean, so he's a bust. Well, let's give some of these players time. I
Mhm.
mean, and the other way is CJ Stroud now going to be the next Patrick Mahomes? Maybe, or maybe not. What if he has a bit worse numbers next year? Oh boy! So come on.
Right. Did you catch the one line he said about his time in Green Bay? I wish I had done things better.
Yes, he does.
Hmm.
I correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he said something like that.
He
on at
did
least a
say
couple
something like
occasions.
that. Yeah. But
But he did, yeah, he did. I mean, he said it's kind of the old "there's enough blame to go around" thing. Well, okay, but I mean, you're including yourself. Fair enough.
Mhm.
which is probably why this wasn't that controversial of a take. Because you're like, yeah, I could have done different things. I mean, does he mean on the field? Does he mean behind the scenes? I don't know what, but that's all part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was perfectly reasonable, and I do think we, fans, followers of sports, we underestimate how much or how well athletes know each other from their times involved with other teams.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I do hope Packers fans hear that, kind of hear that part where too, where he says that, you know, I do wish there was things I could have done better, that he has love for the organization, so that maybe when that time comes, it's not as long as it was with Favre to welcome him back. You know what I mean? Like, you needed that grace period, right? Packers fans needed that grace period. And I know there's a lot left, you know, to be decided, and, you know, who knows or what happens. But there needed to be that grace period. Time heals all wounds, right? But maybe this is Aaron's way to have already kind of setting that up, saying, guys, I still love the organization. I did things wrong, so it's not going to be years when that time comes. Mm-hmm. When that number goes up in the rafters, right? Because Hudson was asking me the other day, he's like, what numbers, who wears number 14 for Green Bay? And I said, well, you can't, you know, it's retired. Nobody can. And he's like, well, who are the other numbers? So I was like 4, 3, you know, didn't get in the whole debate about Tony Canadeo, but 4, 3, 15, you know, 66 and 92. And I said, but there's going to be another one, and it's going to be Aaron over there. And I hope it's when he's done playing. I hope it is sometime soon. Kind of like what the Patriots did with Brady, you know, are doing with Brady. They're retiring it soon.
Right.
So
I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. As soon as Aaron Rodgers' career is done, I think it happens for sure within 2 years, and I think it could happen within a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right thing to do ultimately. Given his talent, given the success that was brought to the team, and he was the quarterback and a successful quarterback in the year that they won the Super Bowl. I make sure that there's not an asterisk on. No, he in a large part helped the Packers win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that it happened.
Right.
That's what you want. That's all a lot of people want, is to even just get one. And he did that for the Packers.
Yep. Might have been a little too early for some Packers fans.
I know. Yeah, it could have been. And that, of course, begets the whole, but there could have been. Right. Mm-hmm. But the point is, it did happen.
Right. Nope, you're right. All right, let's do some picks. We got our the Elbow Room picks and predicts segment coming up. So we're going to do some game picks, but also we're going to make our final prediction on where Ohtani is going to land, all right? I know they got the odds out, but are we going to go with the odds-on favorites? We'll take that break, and we'll wrap up things coming up after these quick words.
In the water heater and pipes. But have no fear, you're in the clear with Culligan Products and Service for all your residential and commercial water filtration needs.
Visit CulliganH2O.com for your local Culligan water dealer.
Who's the best sports bar in Eau Claire? Well, if you answered the Elbow Room, you would be correct. Tell them what they've won, Dan. Well, you're always a winner when you visit the Elbow Room. Game day specials for your favorite teams, an awesome environment, and awesome sports memorabilia all around that gives you the feeling you're in a sports mecca. And now, the Elbow Room carries your favorite beer, Man Cave Light. So the next time you're wondering where you should go to watch the game, head on over to the Elbow Room, located at 679 Wisconsin Street, right next to Banbury Place.
Keep your feet warm and dry this winter with the Shoe Doctor in Eau Claire. Only the Shoe Doctor has over 4,500 styles of footwear and personalized fitting for everyone in your family. It's backed by the Shoe Doctor's exclusive 30-day comfort guarantee, so you know you'll walk away happy. The selection, brands, sizes, widths, service, and prices that fit just right. Come see for yourself at the Shoe Doctor. Easy to find. 2321 Claremont, near Fairfax, in Eau Claire.
This year, Dairyland Seed is introducing our best corn of all time. Again. That sound you just heard? That's the sound of a full lineup of top-performing hybrids, bringing the yield like never before. It's the sound of even stronger traits bred specifically to boost corn bushels per acre in your soil. And it's the sound of workhorse corn seed proven to outperform yet again in independent head-to-head trials. See the latest corn performance data at showmethecornyield.com. That's showmethecornyield.com.
You don't need a job platform, you need a hiring partner. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Happy holidays, and it's Festival of Toys, and we are here at the Festival Food Store, Burt Street. That's where we're at this morning. You can drop by with donations of whether it's cash or make out checks to you, FPCV, Family Promise of the Chippewa Valley. We thank TDS Fiber and high-speed internet. Great to see that the sun is arising on us here, and it is a great morning here to come on out and be a part of Festival of Toys. Thanks to TDS Fiber and high-speed internet, our signature sponsor, Chilson Subaru. And we also thank Festival Foods. And you can drop off toys, by the way, at any of the Festival Foods locations. Today, we're at the Burt Street store. Tomorrow, we'll be on the west side, North Claremont Avenue. And then Friday, we wrap things up over at the Mall Drive location. We're going to have some of our friends and guest stars here from Midwest Family dropping by throughout the week, and we are looking forward to seeing them and visiting with some of them as well and talking with you. And we've also brought along the QR code, so if you want to make a donation that way, just to bring your device by, click on the QR code. We've got it with us out here, and you can make a donation directly to FPCV. There's also an online possibility. Just go to Best Holiday Ever, which is presented by Amundsen's Appliance, on our websites. Click on Festival of Toys, and you'll see the online donation button there. Thanks to Nicolay Bank, Savita Health, Pablo Center at the Confluence, Chippewa Valley Museum, some of our great partners, Auto Family Law, Northwestern Bank. We thank Herrick and Hart and Nicolay Bank, making it possible here. Festival of Toys 2023. It's Murph on the stations of Midwest Family, Eau Claire.
I'm Scott, the owner of Solid Fire Pits. When I began welding my custom-made fire pits for friends and family, I shared them on TikTok because I was just so proud of them.
Check it out. That's beautiful.
I posted every new fire pit design, and more people kept ordering, from 26 states and counting. Then on my birthday, I had my best sales. Now how can the universe...
The streak might finally continue, Lucas.
Really?
I might actually be going to a Packer game now.
Wow.
Got 2 more to go. I'm waiting for confirmation.
Okay.
But I might be biting a bullet and actually going to go this year. I won't say anything else until I get confirmation to jinx it. So,
okay.
Fingers crossed.
This could be happening.
This could be happening. It could. It's been the streak's been going on since 2005.
That's a long time.
I know. And it looked like it was going to end this year. So maybe not. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Let's we got a quick text before we make our picks and predicts here. Garrett saying same could be said for Brock Purdy coming from a 49ers fan. Look at the weapons he has around him. I don't think he would be as good if he didn't have them. Imagine Jordan Love on that team. He would succeed as well. Okay. Ready to do it? Let's start with the Ohtani one. All right. So luckily, I haven't seen any fake Twitter accounts yet announcing, Ohtani agreeing to so-and-so.
Oh, and by the way, you cannot refer to any team that Shohei Ohtani could potentially go to because Shohei Ohtani's people have officially banned that. As you saw, Dave Roberts got in trouble so he's not going to the Dodgers now, obviously, because he acknowledged there's interest. I'm being very facetious. Well, this side note, this whole you have to follow the Ohtani rules on this thing. This is getting really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Dave Roberts said that, and then the GM's like, oh no, wait a minute. Like Dave Roberts like, yeah, well, what am I supposed to say? He didn't meet with us?
Right.
This is so lame.
Ooh. Oh, this is a Ken Rosenthal report really quick with the Brewers.
Yes.
From The Athletic. Luckily, I have a subscription so I can read this because it just posted 4 minutes ago. Regardless of whether they sign Ohtani, the Dodgers can entertain multiple trade options, including a long speculated deal for Corbin Burns and or Willie Adames. This next part, I think Brewers fans and Wisconsin fans might like. Burns obviously would help fill the void in the Dodgers rotation, and Adames would give them a defensive upgrade at shortstop over Kenosha, Wisconsin native Gavin Lux. Lux could even go back to the Brewers in the trade and become the team's second baseman with Bryce Terang moving too short. Gavin Lux coming back to Wisconsin.
Would you like that trade?
I think I would, especially if it meant Willie Adames. Yeah. I think Wisconsin fans would too.
Well, of course they would.
Yeah. So interesting. I wanted to get that out there right away.
Okay.
So, all right. So the odds-on favorite still is the Dodgers to land Ohtani, -200. Blue Jays, now with all the recent reports, have skyrocketed. They're +275, second best odds. Cubs +550, Mariners 900, Giants 900. That's your top 5. After that, it's Yankees at +1400, Angels at +1400. And even we've been hearing a little bit about the Angels. Kind of, could they retain him? And Ron Wash, everybody's trying to, it's that whole, what did he mean by the comment that he didn't want to, let it slip out of the bag or whatever he said the other day,
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you did. What's your prediction?
Longest time I said the Mariners. I want it to be the Mariners, and I think that's cooled off. Did you see the report too that he does not want to play in the Eastern time zone?
Yep.
And
I didn't see that report, but I've heard stuff like that before.
Yeah, and that's where the Blue Jays thing comes into play.
Yeah.
I hate going chalk, but I'm going to go Dodgers. I really hate going chalk, but I'll go Dodgers.
I have brought it up multiple times. I know it's not likely, but even the way this is going, I'm wondering. He's staying with the Angels.
That was my second choice.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing it. He's staying with the Angels. And by the way, I do not feel confident at all with that, but he's a different cat. He's not chasing the money. He's not necessarily chasing just the rings. He might, if the Angels provide him the best environment as a player, he's probably going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do that.
Yep.
And then we're going to have to go through the whole annoyance of the Angels are, once again, they've lost their 8th in a row in August for the next 10 years. But okay, I think he stays with the Angels. If I had to choose a second, I still think it's the Dodgers, even with all that ridiculous, talking about with them. Yeah. I still think the Dodgers make the most amount of sense after that. I think the Mariners are a legit possibility. I do wonder with all the moves they've been making, seems odd, but I could see the Mariners as third.
I honestly, though, the one that is kind of pop, I would love to see the Blue Jays. I think that would just, for that AL East.
Oh, boy.
That would provide so much intrigue.
Oh boy.
I kind of want to see that because it's the Blue Jays too. Nobody really talks about the Blue Jays. I mean, we kind of have a local one with Varsho over there,
Yeah.
But boy, that would be something. I think that would be one of the biggest surprises in the last few years, wouldn't it? Ohtani going to the Blue Jays on a massive deal.
Yeah, obviously not as shocking as to the Athletics or something like that,
or even Tampa Rays or something,
right? Yeah. But still,
Brewers.
That's not the team as successful as they have been. That's not the place where you expect Shohei Ohtani to play,
right?
No, I would agree.
Yeah, man. Really quick too. It's a quick paragraph from that same Ken Rosenthal one. 3 people who once worked closely together: David Stearns, Craig Counsell, and Pat Murphy, were all on the same flight from Milwaukee to Nashville on Sunday night. Though the situation might scream awkward, it actually was anything but. The three maintain strong relationships, yada, yada, yada. My question is, maybe?
Sell?
I don't know, but it's like, okay.
And the housing market's pretty good. I would think you'd be able to sell it. Then again, what is the asking price? Like 2.5 million?
Yeah, I was like, well, okay.
Why?
Interesting. Is it still Mitchell Airport down there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Up the recombobulation area.
Yeah, were they first class and sipping some Mai Tais or something like that?
God. That's an interesting one.
I'm waiting for the Pat Murphy Craig Counsell bickering match.
Like, I mean, that's the yeah. Here's the other example of people get along with people that are in different organizations that used to be in the same organization. It happens. Sometimes there are a lot of clean breaks, but there are a lot of like, oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Here's the thing: there shouldn't be any animosity between Murphy and Counsell.
No,
because Murphy got a manager job with Counsell leaving.
Yeah, they're totally fine. Yes. I mean, maybe Stearns was maybe Stearns wanted to go back and say hi to Brewers folks. Maybe he was accompanying Counsell because guess what? Craig Counsell lives in Milwaukee. Well, Whitefish Bay. He lives there. So duh. So maybe there was a thing there. Like there's some obvious explanations to this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Prediction time.
Okay.
Continuing our elbow room picks and predicts segment. By the way, elbow room, man cave light. No.
Nice.
Do the Brewers opening day starter, is it Corbin Burns?
Ooh. Gosh, that's a good one. Yes.
I agree. I say yes. That he will be. I do. I would, the Willie Adames one now for Gavin Lux has me intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing though too. Like if, you'd have to move him second because they prioritize so much on defense. The Brewers do, right? I mean, Matt Arnold has said that. But you look at, last year's numbers from Gavin Lux: 253, 18 home runs, but he had a WAR of a 5.2. RBIs, he had 105. So, yeah, you throw that name in the equation now, that's going to get a lot of Brewers fans excited. So, okay, next one coming up here. Give me your, and I know we got times we can make it, but I'm doing this one solely for you.
Okay.
Because I'm out the rest of the week too. So, you know what? Let's do this. So, we'll do this one. Give me your picks. Who's going to meet up in the in-season tournament championship?
Ooh.
We got Bucks versus Pacers, Pelicans versus Lakers.
Pacers might score 260 points.
Well, you know what? If the Bucks shoot 60% from three like they did last night, they might score 300 then.
That's the thing. Like, my gosh.
They shot better from three last night than they did from the field overall. 60.5 to 60.4 in case anybody was wondering.
Good. I think it'll be Pacers Lakers.
What?
Yes, I wanted to be like Bucks Pelicans, or part of me wants it to be Pacers Pelicans, just to be like, ha, folks, yeah, y'all wanted to be like, oh, there's all this like Lakers Knicks, come on, like, yeah, okay, again, we deal with it. Other teams get to play too, and Bucks are still in that discussion because it's Milwaukee, but I think the Pacers for something like this. Like I said,
the worst matchup they could have for the in-season tournament would be Pacers Pelicans,
and I think there's a decent chance it's going to happen. But I predict Indiana versus Los Angeles,
and the worst champion they could have is the Lakers.
Oh gosh, LeBron! Oh,
because they're going to overdo it for an in-season tournament championship.
Plus, now we get but LeBron won the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
And think of all of the takes.
Now you really got the debate that I kind of threw out there. Do the Lakers put up a banner?
That's true. Because wouldn't the Pelicans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Pacers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bucks? Yeah, I think Bucks would too.
Possibly.
Lakers? Oh, please do. Oh.
Hey, you know who didn't win the in-season tournament? Michael Jordan.
That's true.
Fact.
Hey, really quick, I'm going with Bucks Lakers because that's what Hudson wants to. So I'll go with that one.
Okay.
Mason Crosby has a job.
Saw that.
He is going to the Rams. Thank you for not signing him when he came to Green Bay before the Rams
I
played
was
Green Bay. So.
really worried that was, well, not me worried, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this is going to, okay.
But yeah, good for him. He's going to be in a playoff chase now too. So, all right. May
Maybe
surprise
they'll
me.
play each other in the playoffs. You never
Welcome
know.
back, man. Welcome back. All right, that's going to do it for me this week. Luke's got the reins tomorrow. DP and the Danettes, they're up next. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. I'll talk to you next week. Luke will talk to you tomorrow. See you then.